I'm not a conspiracy guy at all. All I'm doing is telling you something right now. Technology is moving so fast, there's nothing you can do about it, and AI is here to stay. I believe that for you in the next 12 months, your job is to find more effective ways to integrate AI to increase your top line revenue and make you and your teams 3 to 10 times more effective. Now, with these tools, you don't need to have the skills to code and write and market and screenwrite and do film production and all that stuff to come up with an idea and bring it to a marketplace and generate revenue. If at any time you ever lose and feel like you're losing a part of yourself with all this AI stuff that's going on, is just remember, this is about the people. It's about human connection and using this in a more transformational way. All right, well, welcome. My name is Mike Koenigs, and this is the 2026 Annual Predictions webinar. I've been doing these for almost 20 years, believe it or not. But I'm really excited about this one because, well, everything changed. This past 12 months, even the past 2 months are absolutely profound in terms of what has been happening worldwide. Now, what I want to show you and tell you up front is if you are working in any of these businesses, for example, the energy sector, medicine and longevity, finance, money, any professional services, if you're in marketing, entertainment, transportation, family and relationships, environment, mental health, or frankly, any business type, every single thing that I'm going to share with you today is relevant. Now, I purposely set this up. I am going to be talking about and sharing some big AI ideas, but I'm also going to be talking about the big trends that matter most, that I think are going to affect us most. And I'll frame this a little bit more after I play a little video. I've got another little video for you that I made. This came from me just brainstorming into a little device I have called a Plod. It's a little portable recorder. It's kind of like using an Otter. And I created this presentation by having a conversation while I was driving around and talking about it. I'll reveal more in a moment. But from that, I used a tool called Notebook LM to do deep research on many, many topics, and that was compiled. And this is a script that was generated basically in minutes, and it was auto-made with an AI generator. I'll show you what it is in just a moment, but I want to show you what I think the current state-of-the-art, relatively easy to make video is right now. Because of course, one of the big questions that came up is, how do I create that one-person marketing team? How do I reach my audience? How do I convert more people into my customers? That's a big part of what we're talking about. But here's that video.
Linear thinking is dead. We are staring down the barrel of the singularity. The rules of business were rewritten in the last 12 months. This year is moving faster. I've analyzed 10,000 pages of data from JP Morgan to the inner circle of the new administration. The signal is clear. China is crashing the price of intelligence. The electrostate is the new oil, and the labor market is facing a forward moment of robotic automation. If you are still trading time for money, you're already obsolete. But for the disruptors, this chaos is a cocktail of champagne and opportunity, and there's still time. You're not too late, and you are not alone. I'm going to show you how to turn your intellectual capital into a founder brand that AI can't replace. Hollywood is collapsing, and you are the new studio. The gatekeepers are gone. I've distilled the noise into the top 10 predictions for 2026 that actually matter to your bank account. We're talking about how to attract high-value customers and build a business that prints money while you sleep. Don't be the disrupted. Be the disruptor. You have the tools. You have the knowledge. Now, let's find your superpower. Welcome to the Ai Accelerator 2026 predictions.
All right, so what you saw there was made with a little tool that I love. It's called InVideo. It is one of the easiest to use synthetic video generators, and you can see that the character consistency wasn't perfect. And one of my predictions that's coming up is really all about, when are we going to see the singularity of video and production? But here's what I think is most important. One of the things that I've been training when we do our live events is this whole idea of being able to tell an outside movie and then an inside movie. What do I mean by that? Well, the outside movie is, what is a video that you can create as fast as possible that will get people to want to buy your products and your services? The inside movie is the video that shows your team how they're going to participate in this new opportunity. So in video is a really easy way to prototype. And I'll be showing you a couple more that we created and give you a little more context. But the tools that I'm using consistently right now that I will be talking about throughout, you want to just limit it and say, hey, what is the narrow band? It's Notebook LM from Google. I'll tell you why in a moment. It is Claude, which right now is beating ChatGPT. I actually go to ChatGPT 5th out of the list right now. And I use this as one of the several tools to create synthetic videos and stories. I'll tell you more about tools as we move along, but the number of tools that have to be used to get a lot done has narrowed over the past 45 days or so. So part of what I really wanted to share with you is I've digested tens of thousands, not just 10,000 pages. You don't have to. And some of the information that this is coming from is just my own observations, spending a lot of time on the road, speaking to lots of people, but also I'm studying some of my favorite folks who I really trust and admire, like Scott Galloway, if you've heard of Prof G. I watch the All In podcast regularly. Don't always agree with their politics. Hudson Bay Capital. I pay attention to what the administration is doing, and this isn't a political statement. My friend Peter Diamandis, and also what the big dogs are doing, like JP Morgan. The bottom line is, I'm giving you the stuff that matters to you. So before we get into the meat, I'm going to start with the story, because I just got back from the Amazon. I spent 12 days in Ecuador, my wife and I, and here are some of the shaman and medicine men. For a chunk of that time, 7 full days, I was 100% disconnected, meaning there was no phone, no service, nothing. We were sleeping on wood cots underneath bed nets in the middle of the jungle. And part of what drove this journey is Vivian and I are friends with this woman. Her name is Lynn Twist. If you've ever heard the name Pachamama Alliance or The Soul of Money, she's a best-selling author of this book. She and her husband have been doing incredible work in the Amazon for over 30 years. In fact, you'd never know this by looking at her. She's over 80 years old. Unbelievable. But while we were there in the rainforest, we were healed by some shaman doing some deep work. Yes, I laid on a banana leaf underneath the stars. And yes, I did an ayahuasca experience, and it was profound and transformational. That's probably more than you wanted to know, but it was profound. I'd say in my top 3 life-changing experiences of all time. But also I had the healing done on me, and by the shaman there, you can see he's blowing cigarette smoke. There was one of the tribal members had a baby owl. But at some point, it was presentation time, because part of this journey of experience, because they are doing deep work, they are preventing effectively a small genocide from happening, but also protecting the second half of the rainforest from being destroyed. And they've got this incredibly rich and complex story that in our case took about 2.5 hours, and it was an ask. They were doing a fundraise at some point. And what I fortunately had was my little Plod. Again, I didn't have any bandwidth, but I did have this little gadget, and I recorded the conversation. And at one point, when we finally got back to civilization, I connected, I transcribed it, and I gave them a gift because their pitch took 2.5 hours. I was like, I just asked them, what do you want from us? How much and where's it going to go? And I decided to help them out. So here's where things get interesting from a tech perspective. I used Notebook LM. I took that one transcript and I started having a conversation with it because it was hours of material. And I asked it to make a script for me. I also made it to make a presentation that would be worthy of presenting to the Ecuadorian president about their material. The slides were created, infographics were created. But what I'm going to play for you right now is a video that I made for them that, again, it is, well, I'll let you make up your own mind. Tell me what you think of this and see what you think of the story. Just know that this is summarizing 2.5 hours in less than 2 minutes.
We were called to the Amazon. Not just a forest, but the source of the climate system, the source of life itself. It is the only place on Earth that survived the Ice Age to repopulate our world. But to protect it, we realized we couldn't just fight extraction. We had to face the economic pressures and the dream of the modern world that drives them. We are facing a crisis of human supremacy, the belief that we can fix everything alone. The answer lies in listening. We have joined with 30 indigenous nations to form the Amazon Sacred Headwaters Alliance, governing 85 million acres of the most biodiverse land on Earth. This isn't charity. It is a new bioeconomy that values standing forests over oil. But the threat is growing faster than we are. It is time to scale. We are building an alliance of alliances. Using advanced AI, we are creating a network of global organizations working for the flourishing of life. No center, no ego, just a web of we. We are moving from the Anthropocene to an ecozoic age, an ecological civilization where humans live in harmony with the Earth. We are building a tool to help the world see itself and awaken. There is an ancient saying, "Unless the Lord builds the house, the laborers work in vain." We are aligning our work with the guidance of the natural world. We are raising the resources to build this digital and spiritual infrastructure. The flywheel is in motion. Join us.
All right. So other than a little bit of a spelling error at the end, which I just purposely didn't fix, what do you think of that? They actually shed some tears when they saw it. And I got to tell you, the work they're doing is so sacred, so important. And if at any time you ever lose and feel like you're losing a part of yourself with all this AI stuff that's going on, is just remember, this is about the people. It's about human connection and using this in a more transformational way. So I want to give a shout out to my friend Jim Bunch, who's here, who's been to the Rainforests All. He's had a profound experience there. And of course, I want to give a big shout out to Brad Costanzo, our amazing AI Accelerator trainer and brainiac. So thank you, gentlemen, for being here. Next, here's one of the things that happened in the rainforest. So they're cut off. The way in and out of there is in wooden canoes, sometimes with power, oftentimes with oars. Otherwise, you have to find a airstrip, which is carved with machetes. And the pilots are amazing. But if something happens out there, let's say someone gets hurt, you got to figure out what's going on. Now, they do have something miraculous that's happened recently. They do have solar now, and they have Starlink. And many of the people there have mobile phones. That comes with some problems of their own. But one of the things that we discussed on a bus ride back, I had nothing more than my phone. I was using Gemini, and I said, hey, why don't we build a medical diagnostic tool using Google Gemini? So we started talking about a tool that you could talk into that needed to be multilingual. So in less than an hour and a half, on the ride back with a doctor, we designed a software product that would diagnose problems in the bush. So you can see here, it's speed, and this thing is functional. It actually works. So you could start the health check. It works in multiple languages. It's got proximity detection, meaning or location. It would determine where you are and say, okay, there we are. We are up in the mountains. Okay, I said, use this location. And then you could either take pictures of whatever's wrong or talk to it in any language. Okay, so I started talking to it, and it turned out a couple people on the trip actually had some medical emergencies happen, and we had to decide, hey, can we help them there using local plant medicine, or are we going to have to jump into a canoe, get to one of these airstrips, and fly out? But fortunately, that didn't happen. But for them, they don't have a doctor all the time. Not everyone knows exactly what to do. But what happened was we were able to describe the problem. This thing would generate a report saying, hey, here's what's wrong. Here's the plant medicine that you can use. And here's the modern medical protocol that you may need to use if you have to get the heck out of here. So as a first responder tool, we built something in 90 minutes. So I'm sharing that with you because all we had was a dream and a 3D connection and a phone, and we prototyped software on the fly. I think that is the profound shift that we're seeing right now. And if that just doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what is. And this is the last photo from this story. Vivian and I, one of the last places we were in was in a town called Baños. And you can see how breathtakingly beautiful it is. But Ecuador is spectacular. It is filled with lovely people, and the Spanish is easy to understand and speak there. I will do it again. I will do the whole thing again. And thank you to Lynn Twist. All right. So now into the meat, the moment you've been waiting for. Let's talk about the 10 big predictions and why they're important. And as I said in the video, some of this stuff is going to seem big picture to you, but I promise it's going to make sense. So first of all, right now, I have no loyalty to any AI tool. I use lots of them. I'll show you a list of which ones in a moment. But AI is busy dumping technology. One of my favorite tools for a long time was Manus. And I always said, this stuff was made in China, okay? If you don't trust China, don't use it. But China's producing more high quality AIs, including open source technology, and it's very, very good. But here's what happened. This is the big thing. Meta bought them. And the way they did it is sneaky as hell. So first of all, as I said, Manus is an unbelievable, powerful AI tool. I use it all the time, but it was created in Beijing and Wuhan. I'm not going to make any virus comments here, but what they did that's sneaky is they repositioned the company out of China into Singapore in order to pull off this transaction. So if you ever want to know, maybe you're just saying, hey, yeah, if you're a guy who runs a big multi-billion-dollar company who makes donations to a president, do you think that'll affect anything? Nah. Okay. I'm not a conspiracy guy at all. All I'm doing is telling you something right now. Technology is moving so fast. There's nothing you can do about it. And AI is here to stay. All right. Whether you love it or hate it, it is a tool, and it's happening so rapidly. And you're going to start seeing technology move around. I believe that this could be a sign of new ways to conduct peace potentially. All right. Which is if everyone wins, everyone can win. I don't trust China. Okay. But that doesn't mean I don't use the tools. At the end of the day, I'm looking for where can I create the maximum amount of results. And it's just a point of view. It doesn't mean I'm right, but I want you to just pay attention to the big picture. I think you're going to see more of this. Now, one just quick blurb. If you're new and you don't know who I am, and by the way, in chat, if you can say, this is the first time I've met you before, just let me know that so I know who you are. I'm going to give you a very brief bio and you'll know why I've been doing this for as long as I have been. So the very quick thing about me is I've been married 25 years. It's my wife, Vivian. I'm a stage 3 colorectal cancer survivor. I built and sold 5 companies, written 19 books. I speak frequently. I'll be speaking at Abundance 360 this year, Genius Network, soon at Strategic Coach, and a couple other events that I'll announce soon. We live in San Diego. We're currently in Mexico, in the Baja, and also Malaga, Spain. So we consider ourselves international citizens. But here's the background that is relevant to you. Number one, by the way, hi, Keith. Nice to have you, and say hi to David for me. And hi, Brett. Thank you so much. So here's the quick backstory. In 1989, I started one of the very first digital marketing agencies. It was called Digital Cafe. We ended up doing work and creating packaged video games. This is pre-internet. CD-ROMs, floppy disk sales presentations, but we got acquired by $1 billion agency 10 years later. And one of the reasons we did that is because our clients were 20th Century Fox, Sony, General Mills. We were doing things the big agencies didn't. So we figured out how to erode someone else's marketplace and capture their attention. Shortly after, we made the very first low budget independent feature film with high def. So we were one of the first to ever shoot not with film. I was in 80 or 90. Then I got fascinated with video production. Of course, I had been doing a lot of video production and infomercials and persuasion. So I created a product called the Internet Infomercial Toolkit. That was released in 2003 and 2004. YouTube was released in 2005. I also worked in the publishing world with Ariel Ford, who is publicist for Deepak Chopra. And then came Traffic Geyser and Instant Customer. Traffic Geyser was one of the first SaaS tools that would put videos online and generate massive amounts of SEO in an automated fashion. So that was in 2005, 2006, 2007, all the way up to 2017 when we sold. Also Instant Customer. It was the first two-way interactive mobile text marketing platform. So we figured out how to hack the carriers. Again, first in the world to do some of these things. Then Amazon came along and we figured out how to hack the Amazon algorithm and help people self-publish with Publish and Profit and help people build platforms back when you could break away from big publishers. So self-publishing was another area of focus. And then, of course, I got a call one day when ChatGPT was released. My buddy Brad Costanzo is on right now, said, "Hey, have you tried it yet?" And I said, "Not yet." And he goes, "Get on Zoom with me right now." And that's when I was like, AI is the next big thing. It's the biggest thing ever. So to summarize all this, all that matters is this. I've been paying attention to the trends for about 40 years, been ahead of the curve. And I'm not going to toot my own horn other than usually I get involved in something about 3 years before it's big. And that, of course, led to working with a lot of celebrities and high net worth individuals and helping them build their platforms over time. So being first gives you access, and that's a big part of what this is. So the next of the predictions that I have for you, hopefully it will put you in a mindset where you're going to see the future and be able to act on it to earn more, to create more value. So that brings us to the next one. Christina talked about Tesla. Yes, I had one of the first Tesla Roadsters, converted our house to solar back before it was cool. So here's the next big thing, the electrostate. Okay. Electricity and energy are power, and it's also currency. You put those words together. Right now, you've got Amazon, Meta, Google are all figuring out how to generate their own electricity. Whoever generates the most current electricity generates the most tokens, which is processing, who will make the most money. This is why we're going to see a lot of trillionaires very, very soon. For us, for you and me, it means we've got to be low on infrastructure, high on ops. So that means you and I can take advantage of trillion-dollar platforms, all these AI tools to make stuff really, really fast, be first to market, to innovate faster, to get our teams on board quicker, to become more efficient, 3 to 10 times more efficient. But compute is the new oil, and this is going to be distributed everywhere. Now, this is a slide that I've been sharing for a long time. It's when Sam Altman said, in my group chat with my tech CEO friends, there's a betting pool for the first year that there is a one-person billion-dollar company. Well, here's the current state of things right now. If you look on the left, Cursor, which is a code generation platform, Midjourney, image generation, 11 Labs, synthetic voices, Together.ai. I don't even know what that does. These are under 100-person companies that are generating over $100 million. And then we've got these other ones. So here's the trend. The more AI you're using, the fewer people you need, the more revenue per employee you can generate. We're going to get to that one-person billion-dollar company. I predict it might be as long as 18 months. It could be as short as 6. All right. And where's that going to be? It's going to be someone figuring out medicine, energy, connections, relationships. You'll see more of these predictions. But I believe that for you in the next 12 months, your job is to find more effective ways to integrate AI to increase your top line revenue and make you and your teams 3 to 10 times more effective. My passion right now is to find an extra 10 minutes every hour using these tools. Okay. So here's the next one, the Ford moment. Human hiring is lower, robot deployment is up. Amazon has over 1 million industrial robots installed right now. They aren't hiring humans. Now, we can argue whether that's good, bad, right, or wrong, but it just is. Now, if you haven't seen this, this is well, anyone can guess who this is right now. This company created a amazing robot. They're going to ship it soon. This is General Dynamics, I believe. God, I can't believe I'm spacing on it. We'll call it the old. But anyway, that thing can flip its wrists, and it's going to be soon building cars or working alongside humans. So it goes frontwards, backwards. It's a profound set of technology. Boston Scientific. Thank you, Clay Tudor. I appreciate that. Next up, this is what Amazon's been installing. They don't look like humans, but they're working alongside humans for pick, patch, match, et cetera, et cetera. So again, you're just going to see more cheap robots soon. The big prediction is whether it's Elon or a Chinese manufacturer, you're going to see these devices probably around $20,000 to $40,000. You're going to be able to lease them for a few $100 a month and have them just do tasks, and it's going to learn alongside you. And I know some of them look clunky right now, but these can learn by watching videos. So what's that mean for you and me? It means anything that you are doing right now that's manual grunt work. One of the things that we do is we're always making videos and capturing institutional knowledge. Okay, that's your wisdom. Capture it, whether it's with a Plod device or with Otter. Put it in a tool like Notebook. Every single one of our projects goes inside Notebook LM. And now you can query that. You can make videos. You can use it as training data to the point of terabytes of it. So whoever's ever captures the most stuff in your organization right now, AI will learn how to do that stuff for you. So that leads us to the superpower stack. I've been teaching this for quite some time, but I don't just use one tool. I use a whole bunch of them all the time. My number one go-to right now is Claude. I think it's about the best thinking tool at the moment. It has a new feature called Cowork that I'll show you in a few minutes that is profound. And it's a great copywriter, and it has skills that you can teach so it can write like you. GenSpark is also one of my favorites. Also Chinese, by the way. I don't care. I just want my stuff done. It is awesome for steps, step-by-step process. It makes videos, audios, documents. It can look at multitudes of documents. Manus is my next favorite. Then Gemini. In the past, I've crapped all over Google because their stuff sucked. Okay, but their latest version is really good, and it ties directly with Notebook. Basically means you can access huge volumes of data. Their code generator is amazing. And then ChatGPT, distant fifth. I predict they're screwed. Okay, unless they do something really, really fantastic. They're burning cash like crazy right now. They were first to market. They own mindshare, but Google won because they own desktops and installations. There's another one called Abacus. It's a really powerful platform. Grok, I'd never bet against Elon ever. He will be our first trillionaire amongst us. And it just keeps on getting better and better for news, for doing legal stuff. It's pretty great. Perplexity for research. Think of it as the Google. It is not a real LLM, however. There's another one called Minimax, another one called Kimi. Again, a lot of these are either open source or derivatives of open source. You don't have to care about what they are. Take a picture of this, set up accounts, and try putting in the same prompt in multiple bots, and whoever generates the best output wins. All right? That's the secret. So here's the most important thing. A lot of people will say, oh, well, AI is dehumanizing us. I say nonsense to that. Humans dehumanize humans. This is a tool that can make you more human, a better communicator, more effective, and more creative, and give you superpowers you can't possibly imagine. So staying away from low value tasks and protecting your genius is key. All right. And here we go. I just had Adriana show up with her video. Adriana, you can make yourself go away. Next up, this is Main Street merges with Wall Street. I don't know if you've heard this before. I'll just flat out say I'm not a fan of any political party whatsoever, nor the people in them. So I'm not saying anything positive or negative about political parties, but there's an idea that's being floated around that I think is genius. And it's the idea of setting up an account for every firstborn American, put $1,000 in an account and let it compound by the time you're of retirement age as a vehicle to start replacing some of our social programs. I love the idea for a whole bunch of reasons we don't have to get into right now. But there's another big idea, which is everything in the financial world is and will be disrupted. Here's an example. This is Andrea Albright, one of our clients. She's affiliated with a very, very large private equity firm that does billions in revenue. And she and her team came to us and said, hey, we want to disrupt private equity. Do you know anything about private equity? You know, it is fraught with all sorts of regulations and compliance issues. And it's really difficult to do due diligence and actually do business. You know, putting capital to work. There's trillions of dollars that are not invested in our economy right now. How do we fix this? That was the question. So the question was, how do we disrupt a multi-trillion-dollar industry? How could we do it in a day? So I'm going to play a little video that just came from spending one day with Andrea and a team about this vision. And what we did is we created what we call an outside movie. That is a way to communicate an idea that is very short, followed by we prototyped a software platform. And then we showed it to a couple people. And as a result, in less than a week, they raised millions of dollars for this new vision. So I'm going to show you one of the videos that help tell the story.
Imagine a world where investors don't waste months on paperwork, blind pitches, or mismatched deals. Next Edge Alliance is the AI-powered investment intelligence platform that turns complexity into clarity. Every opportunity is screened instantly. Deals are tagged, tracked, and filtered, whether they're invest-ready, worth revisiting, or better passed along. Our AI doesn't just match capital, it matches talent. If you have expertise in medical devices, you'll see the right deals, the right teams, at the right time. In seconds, you get a one-page investment summary, what the company does, what they're raising, strengths, risks, and where they need support. From there, AI digests financials, management history, and industry reports. It identifies red flags and even drafts term sheets, all within the platform. Next Edge Alliance gives every investor the intelligence of a seasoned pro and every deal the power of collective expertise. Faster diligence, smarter matching, better outcomes. Next Edge Alliance, AI-powered investment intelligence.
All right, so that was a synthetic mic, obviously, but here's what happened. Then we ended up spending the rest of the day prototyping a software platform using what's known as vibe coding. It's basically using a bunch of different code generators using conversations. We took that conversation, we made it into a video, and then we prototyped the software. And then we brought on some of the biggest influencers in their financial network, and they started talking to us as though it was already done and made. Note that it had just been given birth to a couple hours before. That turned into more conversations, which turned into an immediate raise, more capital than they wanted to raise within a couple of days. So here's the important story for you. Now, with these tools, you don't need to have the skills to code and write and market and screen write and do film production and all that stuff to come up with an idea and bring it to a marketplace and generate revenue. You can do it in days. And we've been doing it over and over and over again for the past year. And it is one of the most exciting parts of being alive to me right now, is being able to have access to. And the client himself said, look, what you did, you basically had 10 agents spun up who are all writing code. If we would have had to have tried to hire 10 companies to each work on the project separately and bring that together, it's impossible financially and time-wise. What I saw in a day was simply profound. So that's one of the big ideas here is every industry is going to be disrupted by this mindset. Now I'm going to give you one little thing because I've had some people texting me and I knew this is going to happen. If you're in a place right now where you'd like to spend a day with me, but start with an hour with a conversation. It's called the Virtual Cup of Coffee. This is an opportunity to do that. My team will put the link in here, but if you want to just invent your next step, find a way to capture your IP, turn it into an idea or a product or a service, or you're just trying to figure out what your next act is, or even witness and see how we do what we do. This is an opportunity to have that conversation and then turn it into spending time and actually building it. So if you haven't met him before, Aaron Biblo, Director of Client Experience, is on here right now. Justin Milrad said, I did the Virtual Cup of Coffee, 100% worth it, 1,000% value. He'll take good care of you. So all you do is scan this QR code to schedule an appointment, or just type into text, I want to speak with Aaron, and text him your phone number and he'll follow up with you. And the other way, of course, is just book a conversation with that link. If you're just in and you know you want to do it, I've got 4 spots available. I don't have a lot of time these days. I'm speaking, traveling, and we're busy, but I love doing them. They're profound. So definitely do that. So thank you. And yeah, bottom line is we can make things happen faster than most people can blink. All right, let's move on to the next big one here. And that is the Vice economy. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of Polymarket. Polymarket is a platform that is replacing polling. And it's also a form of gambling. You can gamble on anything. And basically what it is right now they're doing their valuation's $9 billion. These guys came out of nowhere. It's a software-only platform. New York Stock Exchange put $2 billion in it because they can predict the markets based upon what people are betting on and voting on, and people are communicating inside this platform. And so not only did New York Stock Exchange invest in it, it is massive. And by the way, Martin Matthews is joining me for 1K Coffee tomorrow. Awesome, Martin. Thank you for that. But if you haven't looked at Polymarket, download it, install it. They do sports betting. And look, I'm not a gambler. I don't like what gambling does. I think it's another form of addiction, but this is genius and it works. And right now people are building in really complicated platforms around the data that comes from Polymarket and doing very accurate predicting. And because polls take 14 days. All right. This is instantaneous. All right. You ready for the next one? The next one? The next one? I love movies. I made a feature. I made documentaries. I love production. I love giving people in that world business, but I also like inventing and making stuff and making it happen now. And synthetic is fun, but Hollywood's dead. They've been shoving the wrong stuff down our throats for a long time. They've lost their business by 40%. Very few people make business in the People's Republic of California. My home state, by the way. I love California, but I don't like the politics, and it is business hostile. And screw them because they're doing it wrong. And screw Hollywood because they've been doing it wrong and they lost. So on a positive note, brands are the new movie studios. Individuals like you and I can make movies now without all of the friction. So I'm going to play something for you that is 100% synthetic right now, produced by a software platform that can basically make movies. Here you go.
Let me tell you a story. As a kid, my dream was to become a director, make great films, tell breathtaking stories, create like a free artist. But to do it in the scale I want, you need expensive gear, big crews, and the most valuable, time. And using random AI models just doesn't produce the quality I want, or at least that's how it used to be. Introducing Hicksfield Cinema Studio. We've all seen trippy.
All right. So that is 100% synthetic, every part of that. And I would just invite you, if you haven't played around with this, you can start with something as simple as GenSpark and their video generator and type in a prompt. But we're using this to make these outside commercials. And so when we're doing our 3-day experiences, when we're building brands, we're prototyping entire products. We're creating the pitch decks, the videos. We're doing the work of what used to take 6, 8, 12 months in 3 days. And it's by integrating these tools. And I think the future right now is, how are you going to get your teams? How are you going to get your head around just a few of them? It's fewer than 10 tools that you can do all of your marketing with. So I'm excited because it's reached that inflection point right now where it truly is Hollywood quality. The next one, on a heart basis, the loneliness economy. In a lot of ways, social media has been a total disease. There's a lot of good that's come out of having social media. It's completely reframed the advertising world, but it's also destroyed a generation of kids. And right now, AI-powered social, well, we've got some danger ahead of us, okay? I just want to acknowledge that. But on the positive side, if you look at it, first of all, character AI, 93 minutes, the average session, ChatGPT, 14 minutes. You look at what social's doing, it's high. I'm a big believer in real connection and real events. And this is a shameless plug for my wife, Vivian. She saw this both in our own home with our own child. We struggled during the lockdown with a child, a Gen Zer, and she wanted to do something about it with the Bad Mom podcast. So she created an entire platform after doing work on the ground in Uganda and India for 20 years. And she said, I want to go global. I actually want to focus on helping parents with kids, the anxious generation who are suffering from depression, suicidal iteration, and addiction by doing these things. So she built a platform with AI, but also she's put this podcast together. Subscribe to the Bad Mom podcast, by the way. We can get you a link for that. But it's just really important that we use these tools for good. And I want to show you another example of a tool for good with someone we just worked with last week. So this is Jimmy Applegate. He and his wife came down here to Mexico, spent 3 days with us, and we completely reinvented his brand using these same tools, using conversations. So his whole platform is addiction recovery. He's got a 48-bed place in northern Arizona, 24-bed place. And if I had more time, I'd tell you, I'd give you a bigger pitch. But what he does that's different is he connects neuroscience and spirit, true human connection. And this came from himself going through 30 years of addiction, also watching his son who suffered from severe ADHD, and connected the dots and created a new methodology that has less than a third of the same recidivism occurrence with addicts. It's profound with neuroscience and NLP and heart-brain coherence. But here's what we did. We built a pitch for him to raise $7 million to acquire a new property. We prototyped a software platform that does customized addiction assessments, treatment planning, daily accounting protocols, enough in a couple hours that he can take it to raise money. Okay. You seeing the theme here? Okay. You don't need to know how to code. It's just, how do you tell the story more effectively? And ultimately he's changing the way recovery works. I believe in this guy. I think he's doing God's work. And that leads me to this. Wherever the masses are going, go the exact opposite way. Community is the new luxury. And in the world of AI companions, real human connection commands a premium. So zig where the others zag. If everyone's moving towards AI and less contact, do more contact. I know that may, not make sense, but I promise this will continue making more sense. Leads us to the next one, collapse of the degree. Okay. So I'm sure you've seen the stats, and you know how the past couple of years, everyone's been hating on upper education because, well, they deserved it, right? Now, I never went to college. I didn't do well in traditional education. And I don't matter here, but no one cares about your degree. They care if you can solve $100,000 problems with AI or find and solve $1 million or create $1 million opportunities. And that is the message, is empowering your teams to think in AI. So one of the things that we do as a team is I have someone shadowing me, collecting data, and we're figuring out how to use these tools. But I believe AI has to be brought in on a leadership level. We can't depend on someone else to do it. So that leads me to a story of another client. This is John Kissel. He is in the fleet maintenance business, and he's using AI for all sorts of things and robotics. But he said something profound at one of our events. He says, I have $100,000 problems and $1 million opportunities. I want to create solutions that make that possible. So at one of our events, it was at Ai Accelerator, he met first of all, my nephew, Owen, and they hired him to solve a $100,000 problem, which he prototyped. He prototyped with one of these vibe coding tools to save him over $100,000 in, well, believe it or not, California fines. And then he was telling my son, Zach, about this opportunity where he wanted to create a mentorship apprentice platform that would help young people right out of college create and find more jobs. So Zach went away and he created an outside movie first using VEO3, which I'm about to play for you. He prototyped a software platform, created a business and a marketing plan in less than a week. So I'm going to show you that video right now. But Zach studied philosophy and filmmaking in college. Here's that little video.
Meet Sarah. Her startup needs marketing help, but she can't afford a $75,000 salary. Meet Miguel. He's brilliant at social media, but graduates with $40,000 in debt and zero real experience. What if there was a better way? Sarah posts her project on Prospect Forge. Miguel discovers it through our smart matching system. But this isn't just another gig platform. Sarah doesn't just assign work, she mentors. Miguel doesn't just complete tasks, he learns business strategy. They're building something bigger than a project. They're building a relationship. 6 months later, Miguel lands his dream job at a top agency. Sarah found her future marketing director. One platform, real mentorship, lasting relationships.
So to say that I'm excited is an understatement, and grateful to John Kissel is also an understatement. He's such a great human being doing amazing work, and they are busy creating jobs for young people right now. So proud of both of them. Next up, AI is a time machine, and this is a way for us to get minutes, hours, and days back. So I don't know if you saw it, and this is some real video footage. Tesla just drove. So a guy in a Tesla, not by itself, from LA to Myrtle Beach with zero interventions aside from the fact that a human plugged it in. And if you use these tools, you can reclaim minutes, hours, and days of your life back. Whenever you've got a little bit of blank space, dictate your idea in a portable device like an Otter and feed it into an AI and say, make me an app, build me this, start a solution. In a moment, I'm going to show you what Claude Cowork can do and what it's doing for me in the background, little agents solving your biggest problems, but you've got to start the conversation first. So this is a little clip of a video I'm going to show you of something I did with Cowork. So full disclosure, the way I created a lot of the content for this presentation today is I did a ton of research. I collected massive volumes of content and I put it inside Notebook LM. Now, Notebook LM generated some slides and some information, but it's not editable. It's just a PDF. That's a problem. And I was sitting around going, and I started converting them myself, and I found a hack, a way to do it inside a Canva. But again, it's a giant pain in the ass. So I want to show you something that I did yesterday. Okay. Everything I made for you that I'm showing you right now has been made in the past 48 hours, by the way. But Claude has this tool called Cowork. So this is one of the slides from Manus that originally was made by Notebook LM, but the text is editable. Now, how did this come to be? How is that possible? This is one of the best damn hacks ever. I hope you appreciate this. So and you can export content out of Canva into PowerPoint and then into Keynote or whatever you want to edit with. But here's what I did. This is using Cowork for Claude. You can download the app. So if you go up, you'll see there's a tab that says Cowork. I clicked on New Task, and then I uploaded the PDF that came out of Notebook. And the prompt was, I want you to upload the attached PDF into Canva, then go through each of the slide images, click on the actual slide, and then click on the edit button. You can see highlighted. I trained this by taking a snapshot and putting red arrows on it, just illustrating what to click on and what to do. Okay. And I spoke into AI, and then click on the grab text object under Magic Studio and click on the all slides button. Okay. I'll show you that in a second. Well, the bottom line is I hit enter, and this thing went to town and started cranking away. And there, by the way, is the illustration of the grab text. So you can teach AI with a conversation, a couple of pictures. It went to work. It took over my computer. It uploaded that presentation. It did all the busy work, which would have taken about 40 minutes or so in the background while I was working on something else. And oh, by the way, you could get 5 of these little agents working at once. And what if you got your team doing this for you, supercharging them? So this is time compression. This is the time machine. And the next step here, what I'm going to show you is a little tool that is capable of doing this on an intelligent basis. And that's part of what we teach at AI Accelerator, by the way. So this thing did all the work. So some of the key things that Claude Cowork can do, some of the things that you asked for is, I want a one-person marketing team. Well, you can have a conversation, write down your action item, your to-do list. And if you don't know what that is, you ask Claude, here's my outcome, here's my result. Tell me what the steps are to do it. And you can get little agents to start doing it to you. But lead generation and client acquisition, I give it that work. Here's my ideal customer profile. Find people like these, okay? Automating the marketing process. I just showed you one of them. And then converting leads into clients, the follow-up systems. Again, that Cowork function, you can give it a list and say, write in my voice, use my skills training to write like me and do outbound. This thing can even go on your LinkedIn profile, okay? So that's leading us to the singularity. Prediction number 10, the singularity is the point where AI becomes smart enough to improve itself faster than humans can keep up. Now, Elon's predicting that's going to happen in 6 to 18 months. Look, never bet against Elon's what I see. He's going to be the first trillionaire. And that, by the way, is probably going to happen this year. He's only about 300 billion away. And then change goes exponential, not linear. And I want to add this. Over the long term, the future is decided by optimists. So here's a short little video that I'm going to play for you about a tool I just discovered.
Tired of AI that just talks? Meet ClaudeBot, the AI that actually does things. Controls your browser, accesses your system, works in over 20 messaging apps, remembers everything, runs locally for total privacy. While others promise, ClaudeBot delivers. Open source, auditable, free. This isn't just another chatbot. This is your personal AI revolution. ClaudeBot, the AI that actually does things. Experience the future at claude.bot.
All right, I made that with one prompt inside InVideo, and that's a real tool. I've installed it. It's kind of working. It takes a little bit of tweaking, but that is more of what we're going to see. It's basically an intelligent assistant. But that leads me to this, which is in the midst of all this, remember your humanity. Be kind, do real things with real people. None of this shit really matters in the grand scheme of things. It really doesn't, other than it just makes us smarter and more effective and efficient. But this is something I shot, it was 2 nights ago with my wife. So, if you ask, why do I do this? Is so I can be with my wife and my son more and create the things that matter most and create more like that. I happen to love beaches and sunsets more than anything in the world. And of course, the people that I love and the people I get to create with. And I know you're here. You wouldn't be sitting here right now if you didn't want more time, more freedom, and more money also. So you made this possible. So I'm going to lead you down a little journey right now on how we make this happen. Let's talk a little bit about that. So first of all, here's our mindset. We've been teaching AI now since the very beginning. I actually did my first presentation just a couple of weeks after ChatGPT came out at Abundance 360. But our mindset is, yes, you can. You're not alone. It's not too late. And we'll give you the tools to get there. And we do have a really cool program that we're running right now. It's 1 day long. So it's super short. It's online and in person because I love in person. So number one, maximize your output. Our goal is to 3 to 10x your performance. Simplify your stack. It's getting rid of tools, not adding a whole bunch of stuff. So we're embracing minimalism. The next is to capture and multiply your IP. That is to capture your wisdom and your knowledge and find new ways to create leverage with it. And also slop-free conversion assets. This stuff is getting really, really good. In a couple months, it's going to be much, much better and easier to produce at volume. Okay. And then where are your $100,000 problems? Where are your $1 million opportunities? It's identifying that. We've got tools that help you do it. And spotting where you can create maximum value that differentiates you and your brand. And then where can you automate your ops, but also get your teams up to speed with this. And one of the big challenges everyone comes up is I don't know where to start. It doesn't matter where you are. You can be a rank beginner or you can be advanced. Everyone gets something out of this and you'll meet or create a connection with someone who's going to get you there further, faster. And here are some of the multipliers that we focus in on is number one, how to deploy hands-free agents. That's the buzz right now. Most of the agent stuff, in my opinion, is just a joke and it's garbage, but it's tools that help onboard, qualify, doing customer support for real. And then also financial hacks. For example, I spent time this past week with a very profound financial hack that neither my CPAs or my financial advisors or anyone had ever thought of before that we're implementing. And then how to turn your IP into products with nothing more than a conversation. When we do these, we do them as workshops. Then for your teams, it's how do you get your teams to use this and go from skeptical to, holy crap, this is freaking awesome, and adopt it. Also how to find, hire, and train winners. It's a huge area of focus for us right now is building these tools. And then which tool do you use and when? Again, it's a massive focus on simplification, but also I believe in the human connection more than anything. So show up and be around real people. None of this happens in a silo, and it's not fun if there's just one winner. We're in this together. And that's what makes it fun. All right. And then the speed, which is vibe coding. It's all the rage, but how to turn your ideas into actual real products without having to have a developer. Also professional videos that you can tell stories. Again, faster than you could delegate. You can have these done, studio quality content. And also we do all this stuff as a workshop. So you're doing it with us. And you walk away with the tools and resources. So we have 2 different options. This is on sale until midnight tonight. You can go to go.aiaccelerator.com. So there is for virtual, it's on sale right now. You can see the pricing on screen. And then we've got in person. And by the way, this is taking place at the Genius Network offices in Phoenix, Arizona. That's Joe Polish's offices. They're awesome. I'll show you a quick little video from that in a moment. And one of the things that's really important, we onboard you. We actually call you up. We care about you and your business, and we learn about you. And you also get replays from the past 2 events. So starting today, you can be accessing the resources, the tools. And the good news is we just did the last one a couple of months ago. This stuff is not obsolete, what we created. It's super fun. You'll meet my son, Zach, my wife, Vivian, Brad Costanzo, and some of our other rock stars who are at the event. And then this again is the link. The date that's available is March 25th. If for some reason you can't make that date virtually or in person, we have a second date, which is May 20th. Just register for this one. During the onboarding, we'll sort it out. So you got an either or option, okay? But show up. It's absolutely transformational. And the price increases midnight. So this is a do it now or you lose the bonuses and the price decline. At a minimum, book a conversation, say, hey, talk to me, but sign up for it. It's such a good deal. So the 5 ways you'll learn, you're going to see it in action. I'm going to do it for you, kind of like I did today. You're going to learn how to do it. You're going to get the tools. You're going to do it live with us. You're going to learn from each other, whether you're online or in person. And then you'll walk out with repeatable systems that you and your teams can use. And by the way, we've got tickets you get to bring. When you're in person, you get to have your number 1 or a virtual team member. So you get basically a bonus ticket. It's a freaking great deal. It's a great deal. And I always say it's the transformation happens in the room. Real people doing real things together. You'll have unexpected breakthroughs. So I'm going to play a short video for you right now so you can see what the experience is like.
Accelerator is so essential right now because we have got to stay to the front side of this thing. It's changing so fast, and if we don't get to the front side, we're going to be left behind.
For any business leader, any business owner that wants to have that added edge using this technology, you should have been here yesterday.
If you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with a team. And that's what they're building. They're all about the next level tools and using them and collaborating with them so that they can move forward faster.
The best app one day is going to be like outdated the next. And learning the language and the similarities between everything is incredibly valuable. And I think that that's what AI Accelerator can provide.
The reality of it is AI is the future. There's no doubt about that. It's changing insurance. It's changing, technology. Exponential tech is the future, and this is it. And I think Mike's the best to teach it.
I think the best gift we can give this planet is more entrepreneurs. It's an international language of peace and prosperity, and it's got to start at home.
Woo-wee. What do you think of that? All right, so this is happening at light speed. Everything is, our goal is to help you see a bigger, better future for yourself and use these tools for good. And if there was one thing I really wanted to communicate with you today, is that we're doing it. I'm proud that my family's involved, people I really care about and love are involved, my team's involved, and you really can do it too. So it would be my honor to serve you and help you create a bigger, better future for yourself.